Welcome to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with intuitive light worker, national speaker, metaphysical teacher, and best-selling author Lisa Kessler. What is it you want to manifest? Are you looking to increase your income, change careers? Maybe you want to manifest a new home or a new car. Are you ready to bring love into your life? You have come to the right place.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. I want to talk about closing chapters of your life and opening new ones. It happens to us all the time, sometimes more than we realize. And other times, you get all of these nudges from the universe of this new opportunity. It keeps crossing your email, your Facebook feed, wherever you are, you keep seeing it. And a lot of times, we end up clinging to our old stories because we're afraid of that new chapter, right? And sometimes it has to do with our identity, our sense of self. And so I want to talk today about why manifesting isn't just calling something in, it's also being willing and able to let something go. Because I've talked about it a lot on the podcast of making room for miracles. But if you have a new opportunity coming your way, sometimes it becomes this invitation to evolve, to become something bigger. We incarnated here so that we could learn and grow and have these experiences so that we can expand. And over your lifetime, your dreams shift. You have more than one calling in life, I promise. And when your dreams start to shift and change directions, sometimes so do your desires. And sometimes something that was once aligned for you, it no longer fits who you are, right? And it doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you're evolving and changing. And we have to be willing to allow that beautiful process to unfold, because otherwise we end up clinging to old stories. And in my experience working with people who are trying to manifest some change in their life, one of the biggest blocks, it is not a lack of desire or effort. It is attachment to an old story. It's attachment to an old identity or an old relationship. That happens a lot too. Or an old dream, an old version of what success would look like for you, an old story about who you are. Right? We cling to it because it feels familiar, and sometimes we attach our whole identity to it, even if it doesn't feel aligned anymore. And when we do that, we block new opportunities because we're not willing to take that leap of faith, right? We have free will. We get to do all the decision making, but the universe is offering you opportunities. It's showing you this, look what could happen over here. But you have to be willing to step into that new chapter. You have to stop gripping the last page of the old one, right? So I think it's really important to understand that closing a chapter, it doesn't mean that you have to be bitter. It doesn't mean that you have to have some dramatic ending where you're fired from that job. It doesn't even mean that you are saying that something is wrong. It's just releasing it with gratitude. I'm going to share one of my own stories because it was so funny. This was during the pandemic, and I had this core writing group that we would sprint on Zoom and write as many words as we can for 40 minutes and all this kind of stuff. And one of the writers in that group discovered one of my music CDs, and they're like, "What? This is you." And so here is way back in the Lisa days, I really was deeply into music. I'm classically trained opera singer. I sang with San Diego Opera, San Diego Lyric Opera, San Diego Comic Opera. For a while, I had demo tapes because I really wanted to be a Disney voice. At that point in time, The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast had come out, the animated versions, and I really wanted to be a Disney voice. And I got so far as I got a call back for The Little Mermaid when they were trying to make it into a Broadway show. And I went for the callback in LA and then again in Burbank. It was very exciting, right? Obviously, I did not get that, but it was super cool experience and I did continue singing. However, at one point, I went to New Orleans for work and I had this palm reading and she asked me if I was a writer. And at that point in time, I used to write for fun every single night. It was how I unwound at the end of the night. And I was a big Anne Rice fan, so I would write my own vampires. And anyway, this palm reader asked me if I'm a writer. And I said, oh, I write for fun. And she goes, oh, you're going to be a famous writer someday. And I was like, what? And 6 months later, you guys, I wrote my first book. It was just the nudge, I guess, that I needed. It had never occurred to me that I could write a whole book, but Nightwalker was done. It was amazing. And I'm sharing this story because as the writing started to take off and I signed a contract with a publisher and I started writing full time, there became less and less time for the live performing of singing. Because if you're in an opera or a musical theater, there are a ton of rehearsals. And as you get closer to showtime, there's rehearsals every single day. And I also had book deadlines. And at that point in time, I had a choice. Am I evolving toward writing or am I sticking with this big dream of singing, which has not happened yet, but I still love to sing. I had already had 2 CDs released, a Broadway show tune CD and a Christmas CD. I still had big dreams there. And so it was hard for me to let that go. It was so hard for me because it was so much of my identity. And I'm a stubborn Leo. And there were times where I thought, I can't admit that I failed, but I hadn't failed. I had made money singing. For a long time, I made more money singing than I did writing. But as the writing grew and that income grew, I had to have gratitude for all the I had so many amazing experiences performing. And a cool thing that happened is that I accepted a church position where I was singing every Sunday. So I still got that outlet of singing solos and music and making music with an organist or a pianist. And so I still got that fulfillment, but I could put my energy toward the books, right? So do you see that was, I couldn't have one foot in each world. I had to evolve and grow. And so I didn't give up singing with this painful, I'm never going to sing again and that's it and I failed. No, it was that I love this experience and I still love it. I still sing every week, but it is not my focus. I'm focusing my energy in a different direction, right? And I produced, I think my biggest year of books, I produced 7 books in 1 year. 1 year. So I was writing a lot. But you know what? Now I'm down to, I'm still trying to finish this book that I was working on last year because the tarot deck and the practical tarot book came out and my manifesting business really grew. And so now my focus is shifting again. And yes, I still write and I'm still going to, and I am going to finish this book, but I'm not going to pump out 6 books because my energy is moving in another direction. But again, you have to be willing to allow that to happen because I do have free will and I could go, you know what? I am finishing this book. I am not going to work anymore on the manifesting business. The podcast is going to go on hiatus and I am going to just focus on this. I could totally decide to do that, but I feel where the energy is flowing, right? I have 50 books out. I feel really good about it and I will have more, but that is not my complete 100% focus right now. Right now, things have been shifting. I'm writing articles every single month for Best Holistic Life magazine, and I love it. So I am still writing, but it's in a whole different direction. So from my experiences, I'm going to give you a couple tips that worked for me making those shifts because they were not easy. They weren't. But I had a lot of gratitude I had so much gratitude for every performance that I got to have, for all the amazing people that I got to perform with, for all the times I did things that were scary, so scary, and I did it. And I'm so proud of who that made me as a person. When I was at the height of my singing, I did the Met auditions. They do them around the country once a year. And I did the Met auditions, and it was so scary. And you have 6 arias and 4 different languages, and they're all memorized, and you're in this formal gown, and you walk out there, and it's a full audience. It's not just the judges, but the judges are madly writing, and you get the feedback afterwards. And I got an encouragement award. I didn't move on to the next thing, but getting that encouragement award was huge. I'm still proud of it. And so it's not like you just lose all of those things. So if you're facing a big change, just be grateful for all the things that you were taught, all the people you got to meet, all the joy it brought you. None of that is wasted time. I promise you it's not. And it helped make you the person that you are today. It gave you that strength. So when you close that chapter, like I did, with appreciation and gratitude, it really frees your energy to give yourself full, all of your energy, all of your intention to your new thing. And you can do it without being so scared, because you know that you've already done these amazing things. Why can't you do this next one? And that gratitude turns the ending into integration, into tools you can take with you to the next dream, right? So what if you're listening and you're like, I don't know what my next dream is. I just feel this dream closing, right? We all get there too. And that space in between those 2 chapters, it can feel uncomfortable because it feels uncertain. You might feel like you have no direction, but I would tell you to maybe start journaling. Pull some cards, journal, pray, meditate, really get in touch with your higher self, because when this recalibration is happening, what you need to do is reconnect with, where do I want to be now? Not who I've been, but who do I want to become? That's where you'll find your answers. It's where you stop living from habit and you start living from intention, right? You do not rush it. Honor it. Journal about it. And I promise you, you are going to start noticing opportunities that the universe kind of puts in your path. And it's your choice which one you're going to pick up next. It's exciting. It's just you telling the universe, I trust there's more. I'm ready to open that new chapter with courage, right? You have outgrown your old expectations. You have released all your old labels of who you are, and you're ready to be seen in a new way. And that expansion, it feels great. It feels like you're stretching, like anything's possible. So anyway, if you are in this season of closing chapters and opening new ones, ask yourself, I am now ready to, and journal it out. Let your sentence be simple, be honest, be a gateway to your next thing, right? Because really, you were not meant to live one story your entire life. I always think of the judgment card in tarot, which is, the true calling of your soul. You don't have just one. Our lifetime has so many beautiful chapters. And if you're a woman listening, the maiden mother crone, right? There's these big chapters of your life. And this happens in every aspect of your life. So honor it. Opening a new chapter does not betray who you once were. It celebrates who you are becoming. Trust that expansion and release the old story of you with so much gratitude. You're not failing. You're shifting. You're changing directions. It's okay. And it is okay to turn the page when your soul is telling you that it's time. Don't cling to an old version of yourself. Spread your wings and expand, because you are ready. You are ready. Be the phoenix, rise from the ashes, make the next chapter an amazing new growth spurt for you. Learn, try new things, figure it out, because it is so worth it to step into that new beginning. You deserve it.
Thanks for listening to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with Lisa Kessler. If you have questions or comments, or if you'd like to work with Lisa to manifest your dreams, you can connect with her through her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. That's also where you can claim your free weekly tarot reading and manifesting tips. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast on your favorite podcasting site so you never miss another episode. As Lisa likes to say, we can make magic when we bring the universe into the equation. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you'd like more information about Lisa, Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, or the Manifesting Magic Mastermind, visit her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net.